It was called the perfect murder. Almost 60 years ago, Glenn Cavell and Marion Bagshaw were shot to death in her East Gwillimbury farmhouse, about an hour north of Toronto. Their killer has never been found, but their family members are still searching for clues all these years later and have formed an unlikely partnership, hoping to solve the mystery of who killed this couple and why.
I've been going pretty hard on it. It gets, sometimes I've spent a lot of hours, and then it gets, oh, it's too much. You're thinking about it all the time.
Drew Cavell was just 14 years old when his father was shot to death in a double murder. Now he is 72 and has dedicated the last 9 years of his life to finding his father's killer. He wanted to wait until his mother passed away. It was a painful topic. Glenn Cavell had left her 2 years before his death, apparently for Marion, and rented a room at the farmhouse next door. Your only photos of your dad are from the newspaper clippings of this murder.
That's right.
Saturday, June 18th, 1960. Glenn and Marion were in the kitchen having a beer when a gunman shot them multiple times. No one knows why. Glenn was a successful executive. Marion was 35, a data manager and never married. Her brother was Peter Bagshaw's father. All these years later, he too is trying to find the killer. He met Drew on a cold case website and the two teamed up together.
Just a constant curiosity. It's always something in your background, and because it's a family member, it's a mystery.
Jennifer Fallis is also helping with the investigation. Her friend's father was Marion's cousin, a trio of amateur sleuths working on an old-fashioned whodunit. Together, they have spent hundreds of hours trying to solve the case.
I know that chances of the killer being alive would be slim to nil, but I've always said that I really believe there's somebody out there that knows.
They have talked to countless people, discovered Marion's farmhouse on Warden Avenue is still standing. Drew actually knocked on the door, and the owners, who had no idea of the home's grisly history, let him in. All these decades later, he was confronted with his father's final moments.
I was standing, I think, in the position of where the killer had been standing.
What was going through your mind?
What went on here? What happened?
Professional killer.
Yeah.
Love triangle.
Yeah.
Into that.
Yeah.
Broken romance. Newspaper headlines scream different theories. Drew's biggest frustration is that he hasn't been able to see all the police evidence. The problem, according to York Region Police, who took over the case from the OPP in 2012, is that it is gone. What happened to all of that evidence?
Well, you know, it was a long time ago, and through, for whatever reason, whether retention periods were different at the time, things were destroyed or they were lost over time.
The only way this case will be solved is if someone comes forward with new information. How much longer do you think you'll work on this?
I'm thinking.
Is this a forever project?
No, I think that this will probably be the end. It's been consuming.
Consuming.
Yeah.
And you need to stop it.
Yeah.
For yourself.
And I'm just hoping that through this it'll come out and that somebody knows something. Even after all this time, somebody out there knows something.
Perhaps the most frustrating clue was a man was seen in a car near Marion's farmhouse, and he was also spotted buying ammunition for a .303 rifle, the same weapon used in the murders. He was never found. Police still receive tips on this case. The last one was just last month. But to this day, they still do not know who killed Glenn Cavell and Marion Bagshaw or why.